My husband always said I was the quiet one. The one who held the family together with soup on Sundays and a smile that never cracked, no matter how loud the world got. He built the company, Brightwood Technologies, into a $120 million empire, or so everyone believed. The world saw his face on Forbes, his name on the building, his signature on the patents. They never saw mine. The funeral was on a gray Tuesday in November. Rain slicked the cemetery grass as they lowered his casket. My son, Richard, stood beside me in his tailored black suit, arm around his wife Vanessa, who dabbed at dry eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. The grandchildren scrolled on their phones. No one held my hand. I was 81, frail on the outside, but inside, I was still the girl who balanced ledgers at midnight while the babies slept. They didn't wait long. 3 days later, the vultures descended on the estate. Not to mourn, but to measure, tag, and claim. I came down the grand staircase slowly, because my knees protested, and paused at the landing. The living room buzzed like a marketplace. My grandson, Tyler, slapped neon orange stickers on everything, the walnut credenza my mother brought from England, the Steinway piano where I taught him his first chords, the crystal decanters from our silver anniversary. "This one's mine," he announced, grinning at his sister. "Dibs on the lake house too," Dad promised. His sister, Lauren, circled with her phone, an augmented reality app overlaying virtual furniture. "We'll gut this room first," she said loudly. "Turn it into a home gym. Better vibes once the old energy's gone." Vanessa poured champagne into flutes that had been wedding gifts. "To Dad's legacy," she toasted. "He earned every penny the hard way." "Alone," Richard added, clinking glasses. "Self-made man." Laughter rippled. Someone muttered, "She'll be gone soon anyway." Assisted living's booked for next month. They'd already moved my things. My bedroom, our bedroom, with the bay window overlooking the roses Harold planted for me, was stripped. Suitcases lined the hall upstairs, filled with my scarves, my books, my photographs. Boxes labeled donate and trash sat by the door. My chair at the dining table had vanished, in its place, a folding metal one from the garage, wobbling on uneven legs. They directed me to the butler's pantry off the kitchen. "More quiet for you," Vanessa said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. A paper plate waited, cold cuts, wilted salad, a plastic fork. I sat among the shelves of forgotten china, listening through the wall. "House smells like old lace and regret," Tyler laughed. "Strip the wallpaper, modernize the kitchen," Lauren planned. "Spa bathroom in the master, finally." Richard's voice cut through clearest. "Don't worry about her pension. We can reroute the checks." "And the Lexus?" "Mine. Dad said so last year." "She made casseroles," Vanessa scoffed. "He made millions." More laughter. "Let her have the garden shed. It's heated." I ate slowly, tasting nothing. In my cardigan pocket, I felt the edges of an envelope, thick, official, sealed for years. They never knew. No one ever asked. 20 years ago, the company teetered on ruin. A bad acquisition, market crash, debts piling like snowdrifts. Harold came home defeated, Ty Askew, whispering, "We're done." The board wanted him out. Investors fled. That night, after he slept, I acted. I was no stranger to numbers. I'd managed our household finances for decades, taught myself markets from library books while raising children. But more than that, I saw the future others missed. I stayed up until dawn, drafting a turnaround strategy, divest non-core assets, pivot to emerging cloud infrastructure, partner with startups no one else noticed. I researched patents, sketched acquisition targets, projected revenues down to the penny. Then I packaged it anonymously, typed on a rented library computer, mailed from a post office across town under the name E. Harlan, a nod to us both. Harold received it days later. "Some genius sent this," he marveled at dinner. "It's exactly what we need." He presented it to the board as his own vision. They approved. The pivot saved everything. The company soared, stock tripled, acquisitions followed, the $120 million valuation built on that anonymous blueprint. He knew it was me. One night, months later, he held my hand and whispered, "Thank you. But the world isn't ready for a woman like you in the spotlight." I nodded. Let him shine. Our family needed a hero, and I was content in the shadows. But shadows remember. There was more. The core algorithm, the one that powered their flagship product, licensed worldwide, was mine too. I'd coded the prototype in secret, nights after the kids were asleep, on an old computer in the attic. Harold refined it, patented it under his name. "Safer this way," he said. I agreed. Royalties flowed into a blind trust he set up, untouched, growing quietly. They never knew any of it. Back in the pantry, I finished my meal and rose. No one noticed me slip into the living room. They were too busy photographing rooms 4 before shots. The will reading was scheduled for the following week. I made a call from the landline they hadn't disconnected yet. To Eleanor Hayes, the attorney who'd handled my private affairs for decades. "It's time," I said simply. She didn't ask questions. She'd been waiting. The day arrived in her sleek downtown office, glass walls, city views, air thick with anticipation. The family filed in, polished and expectant. Richard sat front and center, Vanessa beside him, grandchildren fidgeting with excitement. I took the seat at the end, in my simple wool dress, the one they called dowdy. Ms. Hayes began. "Thank you for coming. We'll start with Harold Brightwood's last will and testament, revised 6 months before his passing." Pages turned. She read the bequests, minor trusts for grandchildren, charitable donations, personal items. Then the estate. The bulk of the assets, the house, investments, company shares, passed to the primary beneficiary, Margaret Evelyn Brightwood. Gasps. Richard bolted upright. "What? That's impossible. Dad always said." Ms. Hayes raised a hand. "There's more." Harold included a contingency clause, triggered by any recorded disparagement of Margaret during the mourning period. She pressed play on a recorder. Harold's voice, weak but clear from his hospital bed, "If they forget what Maggie gave, if they speak of her as less, deduct accordingly." She was the mind behind it all. Clips followed, home security audio, pieced together, "She'll be gone soon. Casseroles, not companies. Reroute her checks." Over 24 instances. Richard paled. "This is ridiculous." Edited. Fake. "Not fake," Ms. Hayes said calmly, sliding transcripts. "Authenticated. Deductions total $92 million from your expected share, Richard. Leaving you with sentimental items and a modest stipend." Vanessa clutched his arm. The grandchildren stared, stunned. Then the bombshell. Additionally, Ms. Hayes continued, "Harold directed me to reveal certain intellectual property matters upon this event." She laid out documents, the anonymous strategy proposal, handwriting analysis matching mine, postal records. The algorithm patent, reassigned via Harold's final codicil to my name, retroactive authorship proven through original code notes I'd kept. Annual royalties from licensing, $14 million. Accrued in trust, over $180 million. All Margaret's. The room froze. Lauren whispered, "Grandma, you?" Richard's face crumpled. "Mom. I didn't know. Dad never said." "He protected me," I said softly, my first words all morning. My voice steady, clear. From a world that wouldn't have listened to a woman. "But you should have seen me anyway." Silence stretched, heavy as the rain outside. Ms. Hayes handed me the folders, deeds, transfers, keys. "The house is yours to occupy or sell. The company board has been notified. Your ownership stake is controlling. I stood slowly. They watched me now, really watched. You divided my life before I was gone, I said. Tagged it, mocked it, discarded it. But I built the foundation you stand on. Quietly. Faithfully. And now? It's mine again. Richard reached out. Mom, please. I paused at the door. You have 30 days to vacate the estate. After that, the locks change. I didn't look back. Spring came early that year. I sold the big house, too many echoes, and bought a light-filled cottage by the ocean in Carmel. White walls, bookshelves to the ceiling, a garden where I planted roses that actually got watered. The royalties funded a foundation, the Evelyn Initiative. Grants for women inventors, mentors for quiet builders, recognition for those who'd been erased from their own stories. On my desk sits a framed photo, not the old anniversary one, but a new print, the original patent, now bearing my name. Margaret E. Brightwood, inventor. Sometimes, letters come. From Richard, tentative apologies. From grandchildren, asking to visit. I reply when I'm ready. Forgiveness isn't rushed. I walk the beach most mornings, wind in my hair, feeling the sun on skin they once called faded. They thought I was the background. The supporter. The soup maker. But I was the architect. And architects don't fade, they endure. If you've ever been unseen, undervalued, or counted out, remember, the quiet ones often hold the blueprints. And when the time comes, we build again. Louder this time. In our own names.